So for this week's group discussion, our group discussed both questions. So for the criticisms of Watson, we talked about how Watson theorized that thinking is simply internal speech and how that may not be completely accurate. Although we do often think in words, it's a little bit too concrete and ignores the fluidity and abstractness of a lot of thought. We also talked about how even though his idea that psychology should be the study of only observable behaviors helps psychology become more respected as a science because that is more concrete, he ignored the idea that consciousness and thinking could even be a part of psychology. And it actually is today, and we are able to observe consciousness and the biological processes of thinking in EEGs and CAT scans and things like that. And because he ignored that as a possibility, that might have actually slowed the progression of that area of psychology because people didn't bother to think about it. And then when we talked about Skinner, somebody in our group talked about how his utopia and his idea that he could mold any child into anything may not be completely accurate either. He ignores biology in that equation, and the idea that somebody's temperament and possible mental illness and physical disabilities could actually influence how much and into what you could mold a child. But even though these two people have their shortcomings and we can criticize their theories today, we're really looking at them with a lens of what we know today, and I think that's a little bit unfair, and we have to remember that for the time this was remarkable and groundbreaking, and just because we know a lot more today doesn't mean that we should diminish what they did before, because they're still very important. But I really liked the discussion this week, and I think my group had a lot of great things to say.